coffee. And I don't usually have it in the bathroom, but since I'm going to be talking about my morning routine, I brought my cup in with me. So I've mentioned before that I have a routine in the morning when I take a shower and I get out of the shower, and I like to put something on, a splash of some kind that is bracing and eye-opening, wake-up kind of fragrance, but doesn't last for a long time. Something that maybe lasts at the most an hour, somewhere around 20 minutes is ideal. And I put that on, continue my routine, brushing my teeth, taking my vitamins, doing a moisturizer with an SP 15 or above in it, and that kind of thing, shaving. And so by the time I'm done, that morning splash has done its job and just kind of set me up for the day. Sometimes I'll layer something on over it right away, but most of the times I'll wait until I'm done, it's calmed down a bit, and then I'll pick a fragrance for the day that will carry me through the afternoon, sometimes into the evening. So my favorite is 4711. Here you can see it's almost gone, and so I've replaced it with this big, gigantic one. So this one is 800 mil, about 27 ounces, and this will last a whole year. But I like to get a really big bottle so that I'm not limited in how much I put on. I put it across my chest, down my arms, a little on my back, and it just tightens the pores, wakes you up. It's just really a fantastic way to start the day. And I was turned on to doing this in the morning by my good friend Michal Kaczynski, who is a great fragrance expert, and you've seen him in some of my videos. I'll put a link down below to some of those. If you haven't heard him talk about fragrance, it's an experience. He's just so brilliant. So that's what I use. But then sometimes I think, well, I want a little change, something to change it up. So I discovered that also 4711 does this incredible line of double notes kind of thing, two notes that are in the cologne that stand out. And this one is Aqua Colonia by 4711. That's mandarin and cardamom, and it's really beautiful. It's more woody, a little more modern. If you wanted to try the line 4711, I would, but you're afraid this might be too old-fashioned for you, then these are more interesting in a more modern way. So that's something else that I use. Then I'll also sometimes go, if I'm feeling extravagant, for Eau de Cologne by Chanel. And this was created in the 20s by Ernst Beau, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's one of the best colognes out there, Eau de Cologne out there. It's so incredibly beautiful. And speaking of Chanel, I also really like the Les Eaux presentation. Here's Deauville, Paris Deauville, and Paris Venise. My absolute favorite from the line is Paris Deauville. It's a chypre, it has rose notes, it has, of course, the jasmine and patchouli and a beautiful basil. It's really wonderful, wonderful fragrance in the morning. Works really well. So it's right there at the top of my list for morning splash-ons that I really love. I've just received this. It's Club Men by Pinade, and there you have it. This is something I knew as a child. When I used to go to the barber, they would end your haircut with a little bit of the Pinade Club Men powder they would put around your neck, and then he'd take a little on his fingertips and do the tips of my ears like that. So I hadn't smelled it since probably 1963. And it takes me back. It's really beautiful. Just lovely. This is an aftershave kind of thing. So I'm going to be exploring this, and I'll do a review on it for you. But that's something that I'll put on after shaving sometimes, just a little, on the tips of my ears and maybe around here. There you go on that one. And finally, This is really interesting. Canoe by Dana. Now this was created in the 1930s and originally marketed as a women's fragrance, but in the 60s they switched over to turning it into a masculine fragrance, which just proves one of my points that fragrance has no gender. It can go either way, anyone can wear fragrance. But anyway, Canoe is something special. And I hadn't smelled it since the 60s. I have to do a full review on this. It really is spectacular. It's an aromatic fougere. It's loaded with lavender. It has carnation and geranium, clary sage, spices, oak moss. It's really beautiful. It doesn't last too long on my skin, so it's sometimes something I'll use in the morning, and I really am enjoying this one. So there you have my morning routine of what fragrances I use to set myself up for the rest of the day. And as I said, either layer something on it or wait till it dries completely away and put something else on top of it. So there you have it. This is Lanier Smith from Sense Memory saying, remember, wear what you love and not what they say you should like. Cheers.
Gloria is but a kiss in the night, one brief caress. Gloria is like a star in its flight, you can't possess.